Okay, so this is about 22 feet. And what I would do when I want the ladder line is I'll put a stub on here that's shorted out. I'll probably take this off too. Well, we're going to test it with and without it, but right now I was running this right here connected. So let's go ahead and put that back. Alright, so we're connected back up. And then we've got our ladder line over here. We're drooping it down over here. We're feeding it right here. And then that's just going around in a big loop. So these two aren't very far from each other. So that's more like north, and then that would be kind of south. So this would be kind of east and west. So I might be able to gain some DX that way. So we're gonna go in and just try a little test real quick without this even hooked up to anything. All right, so for some reason, the way it is right now, puts me pretty flat right there at 4 megahertz. And what's it gonna be up here? 15 to 1. Okay. So that'd be kind of like a big dipole. Let's go here and change our stimulus to I want to go 9 megahertz. Okay. So wide open like that without anything connected and the ground part hooked. Let's see, where's this dip at? 6. Look at that. You'd definitely get some of 40. I'm going to leave that right there. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to pull that wire. So now I've pulled the wire. Just kind of see if it's changed much. Not really. .3 at the top of 40. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna undo all this because we don't have a way to test this with ladder line without using like a balun or something else. I mean, there's kind of a way you could kind of do it. You could connect it directly to this, but I'm not gonna do that. So this coax here will actually get disconnected. And then I'll have to bring the ladder line into the shack to do further testing. So this is the back of the tuner. And this one has the coupler inside of it. I don't know why I have that on there. So in the manual, it's confusing. But in the manual here, it says for this. Pull it up the manual. This is just a printout, but okay. Let's see. Coax and low impedance single wire. The coax line from the antenna must be connected to the coax terminal. The feed-through insulator terminal with the ground terminal directly above it must be grounded during operation on 80, 40, 20 meters and left ungrounded on 15, 11, and 10 meters. The low impedance single wire transmission line or antenna should be connected to feed-through terminals designated single wire. The remaining feed-through terminal must be grounded. So you would ground it like this if you were going to do single wire or coax, and provided that you're going to be doing it on those bands. I'm wondering, since no matter what, 10 through 15, leave it ungrounded. Ungrounded on 10 through 15. They should have put more instructions on here, because what happens is people read this and they think, well, I need to ground it. But no, you don't. So, we were actually using this wrong the last time. But I didn't realize that. So, what we do here is we just put our ladder line on here. And this one. And I find another washer for that one. So we'll hook our cable here. Now there's no way to defeat this thing and go into, like, bypass. So you're stuck having to tune it, whether you like it or not. So that's just how it is with these. And I know the antenna resonates at a certain spot, and that's kind of why I was like, I really don't want this thing like that. I wonder if this is the one. Yeah, the connector is slightly damaged on this one. At some point in time, it needs to be replaced. It's just make it cracked slightly. It's still going to work, but... So, with this, we have feed line literally going under the door of the shack and coming right up here. So, it could be a problem. And, that's one of the things about the ladder line. So, with this cable here, we can come in here with our nano VNA. Slide this tuner back. And hopefully you guys can see everything. Okay. So that's where we're at. It actually looks like it's tuned already where I would possibly want it. So we are, well, not really, because so that's 3.6. So what I want to be is somewhere around 3850. Can you guys see that? Okay. So tuning and matching, and I really don't know what that particularly means. I guess this one might be the sure. We'll start at 100 on there, and then we'll... Man, this thing is squirrely. What's happening is the coax is touching the tuner, and it's sensitive. Okay, so we're at 6-1 at 3850. It's like it wants to go down. but it's going in the wrong direction. Let's just keep going through the whole cycle. We're at 20 to 1, 23. Let's start coming back down. So 8, 7, 6, and it starts to rise back up. So that's the lowest we can get at this 100 setting. We go 90. And we see that we can't get it any lower. Go 80. But it goes really low down there. So we're going in the wrong direction on this one. Well, we'll just keep going just for the hell of it, okay? Because we might be surprised when it actually changes. We're 8, 7. Going back up at 7.5. We're at 6. We're at 5. Going back up at 6. So, let me see if I can get in closer for you guys. Okay. You're not going to be able to see what I'm doing anymore, but I'm indexing the one and then going through the entire span on the other one. And that's what you have to do in order to find your match on these. 4.8, rising back up at 4.9. We'll index it up a little bit more. 4 point something. What we've noticed with this tuner is that it doesn't really like to tune a band that's almost resonant. We're at 2.7. We might be really close. 2.5. 1.9. 1.6. 1.5, 1.9. It's real touchy right here. Okay. 1.5. 1.4. 1.1. So for my frequency that I want right here, I mean, this is pretty much going to be where this thing's going to be at. And you're going to have to write all this stuff down, and if you move the cable, it's going to change. So, but what I'd like to do is I think maybe put the tuner on the back porch and just leave it tuned for this band. And then maybe when you change bands, just go out there and tune it outside. You know, I don't know. I don't really want the ladder line inside the house or the garage, so but we're gonna try it out. I don't want to be feeding ladder line to any tuners with voltage balance or anything like that. I know I could take this ladder line and literally put a coax connector on the end of it, okay, and run it to the back of a tuner, and you'd be shocked. It would be really close to 50 ohms. But so that's where we're dipped at on this band, and so what I do is I just take like a card and I write everything down, and then I'll go to the next band. But what you really need to do is, because it's super sensitive on these lower bands, you're going to have to tune this thing every 20 kilohertz, probably, something like that. So you need to figure out, you know, where it's going to work in different parts of the band. And it could end up changing quite a bit before you get too far. So, okay, we're at 80. Oh, lovely, this pen don't work. Do I have a pen that works laying around here? Probably not. I need to just go to the dollar store and buy more pens again. What happens is my kid picks them up and takes them and plays with them, and then we have to throw them away because the pens are no good. The 4-year-old is very destructive. He takes his brother's pencils and rips all the erasers off. Okay, 80 meters, 3.850 MHz. We're at 70 by 0, basically. So now I want to go ahead and get the rest of the frequencies that I might use. So, oops. Okay. I want it to be about 3830. At 3830, we're actually 2.4 to 1 already, which is great. So I'm wondering which one actually needs to be changed. I would say probably this one, but I might be wrong. We're at 1.4, 1.2, 1.1, 1.2. So just moving it just below the 70, just that little bit, brought it down to 1.1. Now, it's either going to be this direction here, or this direction. So at about 65, 67 by 67 by 3 would be 3.93 MHz. Okay, so now another frequency I use is 3913, but let's see. So we could look at 3910. We're still pretty much 1.2. Well, if we wanted to do that, which way would we need to go to achieve 0? It's real touchy. So we're at 1.1. And this isn't even turning. That is slop. So we need to address that issue. That's all slop. This one here is solid though. You'd probably just call it good, you know, I mean, like, especially if it's remote outside. Okay. I mean, I can't get it lower than 1.3 just because there's just some quirks. But like, let's say we want to go to 3900. But 3900, if we were to put it like say 67 where we were at, and we're at 1.3, 1.2, 1. Wow, it moved a lot that time. 1.5, 1. We're at 1.2, so 3900 would really be about 67 by 5. I mean, it's just not that much of a difference, so there is some bandwidth here that's pretty decent. Okay, let's go down to 3800. And we're at 2.7 at 3800. So, I'm finding like basically I'm not probably going to try and get that too much closer, but 72 by that. So 72 by 0 basically gets me 1.2 to 1. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, we'll look at what it would be for 3700. And we see we're pretty far up there. 3.70. So, we can adjust this and it gets it to the dip, but it's still 2.6. So we got to figure out which way do we need to go. I'm going to say maybe that direction. We're at 1.6. So we'll go up a little bit higher. 1.5, 1.3. Okay. 1.4, 1.2, 1.1. Back up to 2. Let's go to this 20 mark. See what happens. 1.084. 1.046 at 61, 62, 63. So 63 by 20. And so you're still pretty much kind of in the same place. So that's pretty good. So now if we wanted to go even further, which we might as well, we'll map out this whole damn thing right here, right now. We go 600, 3.6, and I'm going to say we're going to need to go over here to 30, and that magically put me at 1.5. So, and it seems like I can't really change the other one very much. This one here maybe is staying a little more fixed. Let's go to like 32, 33, and see what we can get. We're at 1.4. We'll go to 35. 1.3. Let's go to 40. 1.1. 45. 1.035. We're at 45, 46. So we get 46 by about 45. And that's going to be for 3.60 something megahertz. So if we were to use this to do FT8, we know we would be pretty close to that frequency. Because it's, 573, 574, somewhere around there. 590 jumps up to 1.3. 580 jumps up to 1.7. 570 jumps up to 2.3. So let's just say we wanted to see what 3.570 was. And I'm pretty sure all I got to do is just go move this till I see the dip move. We're at 1.18, and we might be going a little further on this. Yep. 1.1 something. Completely go to 50. And 1.1. 55. 1.048. So we're at 39 by 55. So now we've pretty much got all of our stuff, marked out for 80 meters. I don't DCW, but it wouldn't take me long to figure out what I would need to do for that. And this could be completely different once I add feed line and put this outside. But the idea is I don't want it in here. I'm not monitoring it on that. I'm going to put it on the back porch where it's out of the weather, and I'm going to run my coax to this. It'll be a remote tuner. And that way the rest of the crap can act like an antenna all at once. I don't care. Okay, guys, let's go to 40. And before we go to 40, let's do this on here. Marker. Oh, wait. We'll shut this off. We'll restart it. Okay. There's our dip. Okay. Stimulus. Stop frequency. Let's go 8 megahertz. Okay. There's actually a dip right here. So we're tuned up. This technically probably could work wherever that is. Now you notice now it shows that 4 megahertz is completely different. Let me see what it shows for our dip here. It shows 3.55. Okay, yeah, so that's cool. But it just becomes less accurate as the more band you look at. 8 point something. So the resonance on... Wow. Okay, so but the resonance on 80 becomes over here on 40, which is useless, but you could probably tune this thing if you wanted to for that dip using 80. I'm just guessing. So basically we'd want to move the whole thing back further. So we'd be somewhere... Wait a minute. This is 5 megahertz. Interesting. Okay. So, I wonder what happens if we just go to 40. We just go to 40, and we're like literally almost matched. The thing would stop moving around. So, we have a dip right here in front of us. And then where we're at, there's a dip. We're literally right there for 40. You just change the band switch. And like you could totally use it. Because it's 1.8. It's 7.5. And that's not even the dip. The dip is at 7150. And that's 1.2 to 1. So these would be the numbers you'd use for 7150. I mean, like real close. So we do our 40 meter card. So, well, this is kind of how you can see the relation to 40 and 80. It's sort of a weird deal, but they're close, but they're kind of off a little bit. So you have to compromise one for the other. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've got like a 1 point something. I'm gonna start at the beginning of the band 7.00 MHz, and we're gonna see which one will move our point over to our one. And it's this one here. We're at 1.3. It doesn't matter where we move this, it's not going lower. So that means we need to go over here a little bit past it, probably, where it starts to go back up. I feel like this knob is slipping. It's not really changing a lot. Okay, where were we? Well, 85. Let's see what happens when we go to 85. 1.5, 1.7. Okay, let's go to 90. 1.3. Let's go to 100. 1.0 something flashing. You see somebody has written 40 on here. I don't think it was me, but it might have been. So at 100 and 41, 42, 40, 43 by 100-ish. They give us a 1.07 something. So now I want to go up to 7200, I think, probably. There's nothing at 100. We could try 150. 150. I want to see how much is it going to change. So 150. You can still see this? Okay. 150. And then we just advance this one here until the dip moves on the screen. And I think I saw it really low for a second. So this knob is probably in the wrong spot, mostly because there's no numbers over there. And then so I'm wondering if maybe we just put this right here and make it move. Nope. So we got 40 over there. So it's like basically 40 times 100 plus. Okay. Now let's go up to 7,200. We're still 1.3. So okay. We're finding a dip here. Wow, this is like really good. 1.023. And we're going to be 39 by 100 plus for 7.2. And then we'll go, okay, 7.300. And we want to go here. Okay, where do we go? This direction or the other direction. It's got to be further that way. Okay. So it starts to climb up there. So we're at 42 by 100 plus. What we're gonna call it. So that's basically the two bands I'm ever gonna use on this thing. And I don't know about 20. We'll just go over and see what 20 looks like. Okay. Start. 14 megahertz. Stop. 15 megahertz. So already we see we did a pretty good dip on this too. The bottom of it is sitting at well above it, 14,630, but let's try 1470. So we'll do 20 meters, 1407, and it looks like we probably wouldn't have to go real far to drop this. Let's see, where are we at? We're 2.4. And now we need to go over here and honestly, I don't know if I'm just going in the wrong direction. So we're gonna have to really find it for 20. We're really gonna have to look for it. I want to go back over here to 100 and see what happens as I tune through the entire thing. Okay, 10 to 1, 8 to 1, 5 to 1, 3, 2, 1.9, 1.6, 1.5, and then rising back to 1.6. Okay. I'm going to go to 95, which actually is 1.3. Go all the way through this. .3. We're off the charts on this one too, which is annoying. Okay, 1.4. I'm going to go to 90. 1.5, 1.3, 1.1. Okay, 85. So we're over here for 20. And then over there. And I don't know if maybe there's another spot that this will actually tune at. So sometimes there's multiple resonant spots. Okay, let's go through here and tune through this till we see if it dips again. So we have no dip over there. It's dipping pretty good right here. And it might just be the other side of the inductor. So we are at 1.04 5 flashing. And I think that's probably good enough, so we will call that 46 by 68. And then we want to go up in frequency to 14,150. I bet you it will stay pretty flat, 1.7. So, which one do we need to turn? Two. So we got let's try 50 or 1.5. Okay. You just kind of got to figure out which direction it wants to tune. Okay. One 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1. Okay, 1.04. We are at 44 by, looks like 65. Okay, so now you go up to 14,200. And we're still 1.4 to 1. So the one I probably need to adjust is probably this one. Yep. So that would be 42 by 65. And then let's go to 300. We're at 1.9, 1.4, 1. So we get to there and we lose a little bit, 14.3. We can adjust this alone and get to 1.1. So this still needs to be indexed a little bit further. So it's not that direction it needs to go, it's this direction. 1, 2. Okay. Okay, 70 by just not dropping. Let me see if it dropped now. And go to the 80. So we're staying around the same. It's not changing a whole lot. Now we know. Okay. 1.2. 1.3. Just had it right there. So we are now at 40 by 98. Big difference. So the only other bands left that we have on here are going to be 15 and 10. And I don't have patience to do any more of this, so this is all I need to do for now. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you guys updated with the experiment. I also forgot that I did not short out the other end of the coax feed point, so this is not a loop at this point. This is a folded dipole, more or less. So we'll see when I join that coax feeder how much it changes. I completely screwed up and didn't even think of that.